Dr. Monjur Chowdhury, welcome to the first Teacher's Corner. It's such a pleasure to have you on, and you will be actually in the future my very co-host for this show, Teacher's Corner. Welcome and thank you so much, Dr. Monjur, for being part of Teacher's Corners in the future.
Thank you very much. Future is now. I'm doing it. Thank you very much, Yanik. Well, it's a pleasure. Of course, you are doing something amazing. I'm always enthusiastic about discussing on our career. We being a teacher, we are responsible for many things, Yanik. Let me tell you first of all. While I
And most important, of course, is really, what is it like to be a teacher, Dr. Monjur?
well, I was just thinking that we being teacher, each human being is a teacher because we learn from each other. When we start communicating, even when young child asks mom or dad or whoever, why the sky is blue? What is sky? You see, and then we answer this question to our younger, and eventually this is starting the teaching, right? And vice versa. We learn from our kids also. Very young kid can teach us every day something new. So therefore, when you are asking me about the profession that we are in, being a teacher, I think it's a divine profession, divine. We are connected with the nature. We are connected with the higher faculty, I would say. So this is why I'm so grateful to you that you as a young man, you are doing every time something new. The Teacher's Corner is a wonderful concept that we can reflect, we can share. And teacher means it is like we are sharing what we have and we are learning. So to talk about more, I want to say something very interesting, Yanik, today. As a teacher, our first and foremost responsibility is to make sure that the students who are coming to us to learn something new from us, we need to also make sure that it is not about just delivering something, just giving something. It is not just consuming things, not to give something that they consume. It is about they go deeper, what they're learning, what they need, and what we need also. So I always keep in mind when I'm with my students that am I learning something from my students also? This is one thing. And most important part here, an interesting part is more and more we work with our younger generation, we become more experienced, and of course we see the potential of every child. Therefore, I believe that every child was born as a genius. Every. As you know, Yanik, that Howard and Vygotsky's theory, the multiple intelligence. I being a parent also, I have two daughters, and many times I become frustrated that with my children, and most of the parents, they become frustrated, they become disappointed. But we need to understand that we all are different. Every human being, although my child, it doesn't mean that what I do, what I feel, he or she would feel the same way. So therefore, but important part is that why I'm fascinated about, why I'm so grateful to those educators like Howard and Howard theory and Vygotsky's theory, that multiple intelligence can be seen as a wonderful resource that we should tell our parents and students that every one of them is a genius. So just to review this, why I'm saying, for I hope the parents and students will be listening our talk, that one person can possess multiple intelligence.
This is really interesting. But I think what is also important, that I think the Harvard theory, that actually he was a professor at Harvard University, is also, we don't really have empirical evidence that there is actually such a thing. But I think we have to say that there are all different capabilities, what is intelligent and what not. Of course, one of the best measures, I guess, and which is most prevalent, like is IQ, right? Which is basically the cognitive ability to process information.
Yes, this is of course we need to also connect with the supreme power. In other words, the higher faculty. That higher faculty is given to each of us, and therefore you are absolutely right in terms of cognitive abilities. This is some of them, of course, as we say, that as I go back, everyone is a genius. But how you manage this, the management is the things. And in this case, we teacher, we older, or not, I mean, students are generally younger than we are. In generally, I'm talking about school students. Of course, university is different question, but I'm talking about children who are in elementary or high school. We must identify. This is our goal. This will be the most important part. Therefore, psychology is very important. Learning psychology, the cognitive abilities, those all things need to take seriously. And each of us, as a teacher, and the education model, education system, will take care of this part, the life will be much effective, easier, and more rewarding. So in this respect, I also want to make another point here. So why this work? Why our world, in spite of having so much, 21st century is giving us almost infinite resources. There is no limit. But why our children, we don't see that they are becoming proportionally happier? In other words, we are seeing some challenges.
I think one of the big challenges is also that now we have much higher screen time, right? And we don't move around that much, and we know that this has a detrimental effect on the brain and really on the body. And I think this is one of the big challenges, how to engage kids again back and go outside or do some physical activity or do any other activities such as playing music or playing chess and so on. I think there are different aspects. But let's just keep it on the topic of what is it like to be a teacher? What do you enjoy most of being a teacher?
I enjoy when I see that my student is happy with me. I enjoy when I see that my student has learned something today, what I did. I enjoy when I learn something from my student also. This is the most important part, how to be connection with my student. This is therefore I go back again, the how to connect, how to go inside to my student's mind, what my student wants. So I enjoy this.
So it's basically, I mean, it seems, or at least that what I can hear true is, it is truly a purpose for you. Every day you get up and you're actually on fire to go back to school and teach kids and see them. Am I right?
Yes, that's exactly. My purpose is to give, give more, whatever I have. And of course, you see, when I get from my students the smile, the appreciation, the love, these are authentic, right? The authentic values, that is. It is not money. It is not something materialistic. It is something spiritual that I get. And this is what the great about being a teacher. This is what I value most. And I said, we all of us, we are teacher. So therefore, to answer your question again, that a teacher is a mentor. A teacher is a facilitator. A teacher is a coach to share how, why, answering the question why. The most important part for a teacher to make sure that kids has more lots of question. It's Socrates' philosophy. Questioning. Don't be afraid of asking questions. This is what I just this morning I told my students. You should not be afraid of making a mistake. If you do not make mistake, there is no way that you will be learning. It is almost like if you don't want to do something, then you don't do any mistake for sure.
So now, what's the most difficult part in teaching from your point of view?
Very good question. Difficult part to go back to understanding the student's mind again. Because when I see my student is not happy, when I see my student doesn't want to do anything, when student is struggling to enjoy the life that those young people have, this is difficult part. And therefore, again, life is not a straight line. It is not all the time it will go in the same way, for sure. We understand that. But teachers' most challenging job would be to get ready to find a way how to understand students' mind, so that a teacher can give the appropriate resource that a student need.
Did you ever lose hope?
Never. It is not an option for me, never. And I would say, if anyone wants to be a teacher, the first condition should be a teacher should be a role model. Therefore, a teacher has to be ready that he or she must be optimistic all the time.
What makes you hopeful for the future when it comes to teaching?
I'm very much I'm hopeful. The only thing is, as we mentioned, the technology. Technology has 21st century's technology, and it is coming something we can we can feel that what is coming.
What do you think is coming?
Well, think about quantum computer, for example. Think about technology that will be making each of us super speedy human being.
Do you really think that it will ultimately improve teaching, or there might also be some pitfalls? Because sometimes, for example, technology is also a hindrance for teaching. So it's not always necessarily enhancing teaching and learning. What do you think about that?
Yes, this is why, Yanik, a live education, our model. No, our model. What I'm talking about is this model. Why? Because I'm talking exactly that how to balance it, balancing, how to optimize this. Because without using technology, you cannot do anything in this world right now. But on the other hand, if you take it is the only means, and forget about we human being, we need not that we are the master. Human being is the master and technology is the slave. So this equation should be used. So therefore, in the equation, where I'm saying that I'm hopeful, because we have to make the balance. Because if we use technology to make our life better, then it would be fantastic. It would be better. But if we'll be opposite, that let's technology will do everything for me, like how many of us are doing, unfortunately, I don't believe on this. I believe that I, human being, I need to connect with my student through my mind, through my heart, the love. Love is not technology. Yeah.
So I really hear also too, like the electrical engineer, obviously, and for you it's everything, it's balance and optimization. I think that's really the pathway to success in any area of life. Now, last question. You can say only in one sentence, how is it like to be teaching? In one sentence, short, concise sentence. How is it like to be teaching?
Well, I see teaching is the way I would do the connecting with my student's mind through my through my love. So it is about understanding the student's mind and to offer what students needs, so that student get the answer of why. This is the way I do.
Wonderful, Dr. Monjur. Teaching for me is really living, and living to me is truly teaching. Dr. Monjur, what a pleasure to have you on our very first Teacher's Corner. I can't wait for next week. Dr. Monjur, any last words?
Well, I last word is that we should get it going. We should not give up. There will be down the road, there will be struggle, because life is not easy. But we have to be hopeful. Hope is the most important ingredient that ever human being have, and it has been proved that hope can lead us to the destination. So with hope, we should be continuing.
Dr. Monjur Chowdhury, thank you so much for being on our very first episode and season of Teacher's Corner. That was great. What do you think? Let's do a